Is this night vision device from Victo Optics worth the money? So this is a recently new finding for me. This is from a company called Victo Optics. This particular optic is called the Owlset. And what their claim is that this is kind of like an affordable way of being able to get into night vision. Now, I've made some videos in the past from the company called Victo Optics, and they have pretty much what it is affordable, okay use items. So they would definitely not, in my opinion, be considered to be duty use in any form or fashion. However, they do function. So the question is, if you kind of want the experience of being able to use night vision, maybe see what you're getting yourself into, or in general, the benefits of how amazing night vision is as a technology, then this might be worth getting into. Now, I have a lot of cons to speak about, and I have some pros to speak about that will make you decide if this is worth getting into. So we're going to be speaking about this, what came in the box, the features of it, what it was good at, what it was really bad at, and things like that, and maybe give you a better, more informed decision of if you want to get involved with something like this unit. So I'm going to start off with some of the pros and then later speak about some of the cons, because there definitely is pros to this. The question is always going to be, like I mentioned many times in many videos, is going to be purpose of use. What is your main goal when you get this device? Now, again, if you're going to be using this for close quarter home defense or something like that, this is absolutely not what I would recommend, but this is a really nice observational device. So if you're going hunting and you want just something to be able to look around with, if you're going just on a hike and you want to be able to do it in complete darkness, it actually would probably work really well, and it's pretty cool. But again, in regards to tactical serious use, this is probably not where this device is going to set, even though that's kind of how they ship it. So let's speak about what comes in the box. So when you open up the box, there's a few different tools. First of all, something that was a little bit irritating is that there is no instruction manual. So it was pretty straightforward in regards to how it's supposed to be set up, but there's always kind of that worry of either what could have been done better, or did I potentially miss something that would have been able to make this more effective. But what this is over here is the mount that would be able to attach to a helmet. They do have some pictures on the website of how that would mount up, but to my understanding, a standard helmet mount for regular night vision devices would be able to fit. Now, this seems to be, other than the mount to the actual setup, this seems to be a proprietary setup, so it's not like you could use more higher quality, more advanced pieces of technology. This is going to be what kind of sticks with it. And there's a lot of different knobs and adjustments here to really make sure it fits close to your face. Now, a part of kind of what the first con would be, or just sign of it not being necessarily for the highest level of quality, is that on the top of the device itself is going to be 6 screws that you're able to use to attach it to this mount, a night vision mount. Now, they're very small, very thin, which means they probably could get shredded off. Now, the reality is there's 6 of them. If you put Loctite and you have it tightly fit, it probably won't be an issue. It's just a little bit concerning in that regard. Now, similar to what would be considered higher end night vision, the way it's set up is that if this is going to be on your head, you wouldn't want to be that if it's really tightly fit and you have a helmet on, that if you were to walk into a branch or something, it would just kind of snap your head back. So this is a device that kind of just clicks in place. So it does have a very, very snug fit. And once it's there, it's able to attach to the helmet in any way. And there's a lot of movement back and forth and up and down to make sure that it'll fit to your eye. But again, this is not something for observational use. It probably works great. I would use it for that purpose, if again, just being able to look around. Now, a part of what that design is that since it's attached by that clamp right over there, it is able to pull off fairly easily. So if you were to walk into something or it were to snag, it shouldn't have your head flip back. It would be able to kind of disconnect and not be that big of a problem. And again, it is nice that there is quite a few areas of being able to adjust so you can really get it close to your face and make it fit properly. Now, after that, there's going to be on the right side of the unit is going to be the battery area. And in the kit, it does come with a chargeable and a rechargeable battery station and the plug and the wire. So you are able to use those over and over again. And so far the battery seems to be lasting. I have to check what the battery life is estimated to be on for the unit. But for the amount that I've been using it, which isn't really that much, it does work fairly nicely, and I didn't have any issues with battery. On the display screen, there's actually going to be an area where it will show you the battery indicator and tell you how much time you have left. Now, a part of what's going to be coming into the cons of this is that there is an app that's associated with this device that's also able to help you record footage. So if you're going on a hunt, if you're going on a hike, something like that, you are able to record that footage. However, not just myself, I've seen from many different people that they were having issues with the app loading and functioning. And for myself alone, after speaking with the company, they said they're going to be updating the app. But as of right now, I was not able to get any recorded footage straight from the device itself because it wasn't functioning. So the footage you're going to be seeing during this video are going to be recorded through the actual tube to give you an idea of what it looks like. But it's not going to be as good, I would imagine, as being able to be recorded right off the device because, again, I was not able to do that. So now let's speak about some of the reasons why this wouldn't be used for more intense use while still being functional for regular use. There is a refresh rate that when you're like kind of scanning back and forth really quickly, you could tell that it's following up. So pretty much what this ultimately is, this is not using, it's not like a white phosphor tube, a green phosphor tube. It's using pretty much a regular night camera that's able to see at night to be able to be used. So it's a digital camera just scaled down into being able to be used as an observational device. Now, it does have an adjustment focus knob on the back and the front, and it actually works extremely well. I was very impressed with it. This is a 1x unit, which means it has no magnification. However, it does have digital magnification, and it does actually function very nicely. I was able to put different pictures and images and wording at different distances and actually be able to see fairly well. And it was honestly very surprising that it was actually able to function. So again, as an observational unit, it does work great. It does also have on the right side of the lens, it does have the IR illuminator. And again, for most IR illuminators, there's going to be some degree of being able to see that red glow. But again, this is kind of a low light. It's kind of like a security camera kind of level. There are other devices that you're able to get that function supremely better. As an example, you guys have seen me do video reviews from Blazer before. This is a Blazer night vision head they were able to get from them. And I will be making a dedicated video on this because this technology is absolutely incredible. It has a focus adjustment to be able to choose the width and size of the actual light that you're projecting. So you could get very, very crazy distance out of this while all being under night vision, which is really cool. So I'm going to be speaking about that later in the future. But by itself, the IR light that it's projecting is actually very, very good. I was able to see very well, and I have really no complaints in regards to kind of the video quality that it was able to produce. The only thing is, again, if you're walking, trying to go fast pace, or you're moving quickly, that refresh rate will be kind of distracting and it will be noticeable, which is why it wouldn't be something I'd personally prefer. The other thing is that since it's a video camera, pretty much, there is going to also be an auto light adjustment. So if you're looking from a dark place into a light place, there's kind of like that moment of it maybe flaring up a little bit and going back down just because it's going to adjust to the light that's in front of it, which is what most cameras will do. It's not really what all night vision will do, but it will be what cameras will do because it's kind of just auto-focusing to the light that's in front of it, and it is slow enough that it wouldn't make me feel comfortable to be able to use in a more serious environment. The other thing is that there is an adjustment for brightness on the inside of the lens. This is going to be where the bigger con for me comes in, is that it is really bright. If you're in pitch black darkness, you'd usually like using your cell phone at 2 a.m. If you turn that on, it's going to really blast into your face and you won't be able to handle that much longer because since your environment is so dark and the thing you're looking at is so bright, it can really mess with your eyes. So I wasn't able to look through this for long extended periods of time just because it's really bright. And even the focus adjustment, the adjustment on the inside of the technology to be able to drop the brightness level was still really high. So you're able to go brighter, which again, that means you're pretty much using it in daytime use, which that's not where you'd use this. But on the low end, I wish there was a way to be able to drop it even lower because even at the lowest setting of the setup, it was still very bright. The inside of the tube does allow you to switch between like a green and a white version to be able to use different contrasting colors. And it's a very quick switch of being able to press the button. On the back of the device, you'll see on the right side, there's going to be different buttons that will use different sets of adjustments. So there's the power button, there's the button to adjust for the zoom, a button to adjust for the actual color temperature that you might want, as well as also being able to turn on and off the IR. Now the IR also is able to the infrared light is able to be adjusted for different levels of brightness, so you could see further with it. And again, for me personally, it worked actually very nicely. And then also for the adjustable zoom, you're able to adjust the front and back rear lens to be able to make it work. And again, for me, it actually worked really nicely. The back also has kind of like the rubber eyepiece that really makes sure that it seals around your eye. And when you're looking through the device, the best way I could describe it is that it's kind of as if you're sitting in the theater and you're looking at the screen. So it's not like you're in it where you're like looking at it from first person. It's almost like you're watching the video of you watching what's outside because it is kind of like a screen and it's not really close. So you're kind of looking at it from a distance. Now that comes up also with the next thing is that the field of view is not perfect, meaning it's not 1x where you're actually seeing 1x. It's kind of slightly cropped in. It could be because of the resolution they're choosing to use. So your perception, your depth perception is not going to be as good as you could think. Now, it's just something to be able to practice, so that may or may not be valuable for you to know, but it's something you want to practice a little bit because your field of view and your depth of view is not going to be as accurate as being in person. So that's just something else to be able to point out. The last thing that I noticed, which I think is worth mentioning, is that on the top of the screen is going to be an area where you're able to see your navigation of which direction you're facing. And from what I've seen, it's not really accurate. So there was a time where I set it and I knew I was facing east. I pointed it to the east and I was able to see that it did show east. And then when I moved it all the way the opposite direction, it was still showing like east-south. So it wasn't accurate. So it might be something to be very cautious about if that's something you want to use, especially because if you're going to be using this for more serious use to be able to figure out where you're going or how to get out of a situation, it's definitely recommended that you have a better form of navigation to make sure you're actually facing the right direction. So kind of as a sum up, if you're going to use this as an observational device, I think it's great. Now, are there other options for the price set that this is at that might do better? Probably. I haven't seen a lot of them. I haven't been able to test a lot of them, but I'm sure there are other ones that might be able to work. However, I don't think you'd be specifically disappointed if this is going to be the option you're going to go with. If it's going to be just, again, recreational use to be able to do observational stuff, I think it works great. The quality, again, was really nice. Being able to focus on small lettering and being able to see clear at distance while using IR. Also, you are obviously able to get separate levels of IR to be able to make it function better. However, I didn't honestly feel like it was necessary. I think it worked and performed well. So again, in the aspect of recreational use for observational use, I think it worked fine. So if this is something you're interested in, I'm going to leave more information in the description down below. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave it in the comment section down below, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. This is Raziel Cohen with ndftraining.com. Thank you for watching.